In Mission Impossible Fallout, there's a scene where Tom Cruise chases Henry Cavill through London, and the chase starts at St Paul's Cathedral there, goes across Blackfriars Bridge there, and it finishes at the Tate Modern Art Gallery there. It's a great scene with Tom Cruise running and jumping over rooftops, smashing windows with chairs, and it even involved him breaking his ankle doing this stunt.
Now, if you are squeamish, don't watch this. And now watch that. Watch this.
I didn't want to do it again. I knew instantly it was broken, and I just run past camera. We got the shot. It's in the movie. That profile shot, both those shots are in the movie.
But here's the thing about this chase. See, usually when movies film chase scenes like this, the geography makes no sense if you know the city. Like in Skyfall, James Bond runs out of Westminster Tube Station, and about 30 seconds later, he arrives at Trinity Square on the other side of the city. But in Mission Impossible Fallout, the route that Tom Cruise runs is pretty much the exact same one you would take if you were to actually try and go from St Paul's to the Tate, which got me thinking, could I run that faster than Tom Cruise? So assuming we start from the steps here, which is where Tom Cruise does in the movie, and then we plot the route that he takes on a map, the distance that Tom runs over the rooftops is 1.24 kilometers, which takes him 4 minutes and 45 seconds in movie time, with the clock stopping when he touches the door of the Tate Modern here. But my route is longer because I can't take shortcuts along the rooftops, so I have to run 1.36 kilometers in less than 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So to do that faster than Tom, I have to be doing more like a 5.5 minute mile.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
And I've never outrun a sandstorm in Dubai or anything like that, but I have run a few marathons in my time, one of which was actually in Dubai. So while I may not be Tom Cruise, I'm not exactly a novice when it comes to running either. But it's one thing to sprint that pace on a track or a nice flat bridge like this. It's another thing entirely to keep that pace up going through the narrow, winding back streets of one of the oldest cities in Europe. A route that includes crossing a 4-lane road without getting killed, a few very sharp corners, and this stupidly steep set of stairs.
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
So my mission, should I choose to accept it, is to recreate Tom Cruise's chase through London as accurately as possible to see if I could have run faster than Ethan Hunt and caught up to Henry Cavill before he got away. And if I can do that, then, I don't know, maybe Paramount can invite me to the London premiere of The Final Reckoning or something. That'd be cool, if you did that. Actually, tell you what, from the trailer, it looks as though The Final Reckoning is also going to feature Tom Cruise running through London. So how about if you invite me to the premiere, I'll make another video recreating that scene. Like a rematch, a reckoning, a final reckoning.
He said it! He said it!
But back to my mission. The obvious issue that I have with recreating the run in Fallout is that Ethan Hunt is the living manifestation of destiny, and I'm just, well, most of the time I'm just a cartoon penguin who talks about movies on YouTube. But the other issue that I have with recreating the chase in Fallout is that I can't go onto the rooftops like Tom Cruise does. Like, come on, St. Paul's is one of the most famous buildings in the world. I hardly think they're just gonna let you onto the roof. Unless you ask really nicely. So, since we're up here, let me show you the route. Okay, so he comes out of St. Paul's there, goes over the roof, then manages to get over that road, runs across this glass roof, gets over the other road, breaks his ankle around there, then he runs over Blackfriars Bridge there, along embankment to finish at the Tate. For any Londoners watching, we're just pretending the Millennium Bridge doesn't exist. So my route is going to follow Tom Cruise's as closely as possible, just going along the roads and not the roofs, because I'm not in a movie, which means I can't rely on the magic of editing. See, the magic of editing is what lets Tom Cruise jump from the roof of the cathedral to that building. It's what lets him magically get from one side of this big road to the other, and it's what lets him instantly get from the roof of Blackfriars Bridge to the footpath under it. Although it is also the reason he broke his ankle doing that jump from up there to there, even though he could have just run 10 meters to his right. Okay, I need to talk quietly because I'm in a church, but look, I know that about 2 minutes of this chase does take place inside St. Paul's itself, so maybe it shouldn't count for my race, but remember, Tom Cruise has the power of editing on his side, so I think it's only fair that I get to use the time inside the cathedral to my advantage. The routes are a bit different, but it's still going to be a point-to-point race between me and Ethan Hunt. Cool, well I think that's everything explained, but before I do the run, there's just one final thing I need to do so that I can actually record it. Yep, my dignity will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Okay guys, clear the roads!
You cannot have Mission Impossible without having a sequence in which Tom Cruise is running.
Here we are rolling!
Here we go, we're set, and 3, 2, 1,
Hi, Editor Pentex here. I can't use the real Mission Impossible theme in this video because if I do, I'll get a copyright strike. So instead, I'm going to use some royalty-free but sufficiently transformative music that was inspired by the Mission Impossible theme song. And with that final disclaimer out of the way, let me hand it over to Tom to start the race itself.
Light the fuse.
If you want to see the full, unedited version of my run side by side with the movie, then I've uploaded the whole thing to Patreon as proof that there's no editing wizardry going on in this video. My patrons are the fantastic people who help make all of my videos possible and keep them sponsor-free for everyone, so thank you all so much. If you're new here, then this video is quite different from what I normally do, which is talk a lot about James Bond and The Lord of the Rings, but if you like this, then feel free to check out some of the other things on the channel. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.